Hello and welcome back everyone once again. We are here for our video session. In our last video, we had discussed about an elementary school classroom in a slum, and we are continuing this video from there onwards. We had discussed about Stephen Spander and his life, and other than that, we had also discussed about the word's meaning and certain things to remember that Stephen Spander had left University College without taking a degree and went to Berlin in uh, 1930. And a word pacifist means one who believes in spreading message of love and all. Then we discussed about the first stanza. The first stanza shows how the atmosphere of the classroom was, how the children sitting in the classroom they were. So this is all discussed in the first stanza. Once again, a slight reminder for you that classroom was very gloomy, dim, and pathetic. Children sitting in the classroom, they do not look happy with their life. One tall girl was there. She was sitting there with her way down head. Way down head is a symbol that she was in some sort of depression. Other than that, there was a paper swimming boy who was suffering from uh, some sort of disease because he seemed very lean and thin. His eyes are compared with the rat's eyes. That means his hunger showed, gleamed in his eyes. Then most of the children sitting in the classroom, they were having some or other disease. They were in deformed shape. They had inherited some disease from their parents. At last, in that stanza, at last, we also discuss about one sweet and young boy who was present there, but he was thinking about something else. He was thinking about a squirrel game which he would like to play. So he might be waiting for the school to get over so that he can go outside and play a squirrel game. So this is all discussed in the previous video. So we are continuing this video from here onward. On Sour Cream Wall, donations, Shakespeare said, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. Sour. Sour is generally a word which is used for the taste. It is used for the taste, but here it is used for the wall's description. Dear students, we are talking about a school classroom in government school. You know, these days private schools, they keep their classroom quite neat and clean, but that is not the same condition with the government school. You know, in government school, once the school is constructed, at that time whatever the paint they had applied to the wall, that remains for a long time, unless the principal is very active or the staff members are very active. They do not decorate, they do not paint the wall. So here we are talking about a school which is already situated in the slum area. That school had been painted previously when perhaps it was constructed, but since then it was never repainted. Since it is not repainted, uh, painting was not looking proper. Some of the painting are coming down, and as a result the wall looked very dim and pathetic, and that's why the word sour cream wall is used. Now then we have the donations. Donations like Shakespeare said, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. We are once again talking about the school which is of government, constructed, situated in a slum area. So you can Imagine the condition of the school. Means the school may not be meeting all its needs. There are so many daily needs of the school, means proper chalk, proper classroom, proper material required, but all these need may not be fulfilled. School sought help from the parents or from some well-known personality from the society. Generally, when it comes about donation, we think in terms of money, but money is not the only thing where uh, we think about donation. Donations can be in a various form, like if somebody gives material, if somebody gives sports instrument, or whatever the gift is given to the school, they all are considered to be donations. So here this school was also given donation. Some people donated some portraits, some pictures, some map, various other thing. So somebody has donated a portrait of William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare's photo was hanging there in the school walls classroom. Sorry, school walls classroom, not. That is a hurriedly spoken a sentence. So William Shakespeare's photo was hanging there on the wall. And other than that, we have a description that in the second line, cloudless at dawn. If you have seen the image of William Shakespeare, photo of William Shakespeare, he had hardly any hair on the head. And here the word cloudless at dawn is a description of William Shakespeare's appearance. He hardly had any hair, and as a result, he is compared with the cloudless at dawn. Dawn means morning. Then we have civilized dome riding all cities. In the school, there were, in the school classroom, there were some pictures of buildings, civilized building, a well constructed building, and that those photos were there in the classroom wall. They looked very gracious, but compared to the classroom where they are studying, uh, they are of much higher class. So some good buildings photos, civilized dome riding wall city, that means some good building photos were also there in the classroom wall. Belt, flowery, Tyrolese valley, all these things were there. Flowery, might you can imagine that some photos of flowers and plants. Then Tyrolese valley. Tyrolese valley stands for the valley in Austria. Tyrol is the name of a city in Austria, and this Tyrolese valley exists there in Austria, not Australia but Austria. So these all beautiful pictures are there. Then there was open-handed map also. Open-handed map. Generally, in as a subject, the teacher comes out with the maps, or if it is a library, or if as a teacher is our class teacher, then generally he keeps world map and various other map inside the class. So open-handed map was also there, but then there is a narration by the poet that awarding the world its world. Children are living in altogether different world. I mean, the children about whom we are going to speak, or we are speaking, they are in very pathetic condition. They have not seen the beauty of outside world with their naked eyes. Means they have spent almost all their childhood here in the slum area, from their house till the slum school. Nothing else they have seen. So these children do not know outside beauty of the world, and that's why this open-handed map awarding the world its world means these children are living in very pathetic world, and the world which is shown to them through the photographs, through the map, that is altogether a different world. They have not seen the world such a beautiful, or they have not seen the real beauty of the world, we can say. Awarding the world its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, were all their future painted with thought. These children, they feel that their world is limited to the window of the classroom. They have not seen any other thing than that. The entire world map is there inside the classroom wall, but for these children, their world is limited to the window of the classroom, their home, their street where they might be wandering and playing. This is the only limited world to them. The poet also says indirectly that these children's lives may not be secured in the future. They may not have a bright future. Why they may not have a bright future? Because their parents, they do not have a strong foundation. They cannot give them proper education. Since they are not going to provide them proper education, they are not financially sound, and as a result these children will also suffer the same. Somewhere they will be lost in the darkness of the world, where all their future painted with fog. Fog means something not clear. Early in the morning when it is foggy, then you may not have a clear vision. So similarly here too, the poet says that this children's future is bleak, future is in darkness. They are not going to have a good future if they are going to remain in this condition for a long time. Let's have a look at these two words: stunted, short-heighted, or it also means some sort of in deformed shape. Veiled, the veil means prosperous. That word we forgot to discuss. Then another verse before heading towards the next stanza, uh, catacombs, burial chamber, implying near death existence of these children. Students, last year you had studied one lesson. Discovering the Tut saga continues. Now in that, the King Tut was buried deep down inside the earth. His mummy had to be had to be taken out from a deep chamber. So the deep chamber, especially graveyard, such a thing is called catacomb. The children about whom we are going to talk in an elementary school classroom in a slum, their life is just like a grave. Their life itself is a catacomb for them. Why? Because it is nothing better than a cemetery. They are destined to suffer into this wicked world. Many children, they are very bright if they are given opportunity. Among them, these children are also there. Some of them may be very talented. Despite their talent and all that, these children may not get the exposure. And since they will not get exposure, they will suffer and they may not have a bright future. So that in that aspect, The catacomb word is uh, coming in this poem. Azure means blue sky. Then you'll have expression tongues run naked. Tongues run naked means express themselves freely. If the children will be able to express themselves freely and express whatever they feel, then I mean they will get more exposure and their talent will come out if they are given proper exposure. Let us read the line of the poem. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. Students, you might have seen the slum area. In the slum area, if you have visited it, people literally live their life in very pathetic condition. I mean, some of you may not be able to look at them in how filthy state, in how filthy conditions these people, these children are living their life. So the poet picturizes the same thing here. These children, I mean these poor people have single room house. One single room, that is only their bedroom, that is only their kitchen, nothing else. Their entire world wind up in single room. They have to do their entire day-to-day need, everything, all their work in one corner room. And some of the room they may not have even the roof. Direct the sunlight may be coming inside the house. And literally in monsoon, they face a great difficulty. That's why here it is given a narrow street sailed in with a lead sky. Far, far from rivers, caves, and stars of the world. These children might have heard about river, caves, and stars. They might have heard from their teacher, from the book, but in reality, they have not experienced this beauty of the world. And that's why here it is given the far, far from the world, stars of the world. Let us head to the third stanza. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example. Sometimes it tends to happen with us also. There are so many great men about whom we study in the school. Say, for an example, Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mahatma Gandhi ji himself was a great person. We know what are the great works done by him. But despite his greatness, what happens when we have to study about Mahatma Gandhi's life? We hate it. We don't like to study. In fact, we don't like that particular thing coming into syllabus. Why? Because there are so many questions coming. Similarly, these children, they don't like Shakespeare. According to them, William Shakespeare is a wicked person. Why wicked person? Because they had to study about him. So they are not at all interested in the life of William Shakespeare. What they are interested is something should be done that their life can become better. And the map is a bad example for them. Why map is a bad example? Because the map shows all together a wonderful world, all together a different world, a beautiful world. But the world where these children are living, it is very harsh world, very difficult world, very strugglesome world. So there is total contrast between the two worlds, the world of these children and the world which they see in the map or which the teacher might be talking about in the classroom. with seeds and sun and love them, tempting them to steal. The map, through the map, they might come to know that the seeds may take people from this area to that area. The teacher might have talked about the shape, sun, and all these talks. They are very tempting. अगर किसी के पास कुछ नहीं है, अगर उसके पास आप अच्छी अच्छी बातें करोगे और कहोगे कि दुनिया ऐसी है वैसी है, इतना अच्छा है, इतनी ब्यूटीफुल दुनिया है, तो दे विल बी टेम्पटेड. बट आफ्टर द टेम्पटेशन व्हाट विल हैपन? they will not be able to enjoy that world because they are not financially sound. They are destined to suffer, so they will become more unhappy after after they come to know the reality. So this is what the poet says, that this entire thing, Tyrol is Valley, open-handed map, it is just, they are just giving them temptation that the world is beautiful, but it is not going to give them exposure. What these children need is some financial help, some exposure to explore the world, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. Slyly. Slyly means cunningly. These children's lives, from morning till night, they are spending the entire day into one small room, cramped holes, cramped, congested. And that room, the dirty room where they are living, that is compared with the cramped hole, because mother, father, brother, sister, and the boy himself, they all have to live together, cramped. And because other than that, there might be luggage too. So that's why it is very congested, and since it is congested, it is described as cramped holes. From fog to the endless night, these children are spending their whole day either into their own room, house, hut, and some of the time they are spending there in the school. Nothing than that. They have not seen any outside world other than this. On their slag heap, these children with mended glass. Now here, what you have to notice on their slag heap. This on their slag heap, it means very dirty, ragged hut. That is a descriptions about their hut, Joppadpatti. On their slag heap, these children wear skins tipped through by bones and spectacles of steel. The children we are talking, they are wearing the spectacles, but uh, they are wearing the clothes, but the clothes are not proper. They are worn and torn out. Their skin, their body is visible through their clothes. Tattered, torn, कपड़े फटे हुए थे, और फटे हुए कपड़े होने के लिए, होने से क्या हुआ होता था कि some of the portions of the body was visible, so their bones are visible through their clothes. And they were also wearing spectacles, but the spectacles were they were also very old. Somebody might have given them, probably they might have got spectacles from the school, but they do not have money to buy new pair of spectacles, and as a result they are wearing the same spectacles. The spectacles had many scratches. It might have fallen down many times. They could not repair it. They could not rebuy it. So what they did was they mended the same glass. When you mend the same glass, then what happens with the specs? It has so many scratches. So on the spectacles there were many scratches, like bottle beads on stones. If you take a bottle in the hand and squeeze it, there may be many wrinkles. Similarly, on the spectacles, there are so many scratches, and because of the scratches, the vision was not very clear. Even though the vision was not very clear, they had to wear the same spectacle again and again and again. So imagine these children are not in a state of condition where they can buy even a new pair of spectacles for themselves. All of their time and space are foggy slum. The slum area, it is full of dust, no pavement, no concrete, only dust. Houses are also made up of cow dung and mud. So it was very dusty there, it was very foggy then. These children do spend most of the time, I mean, in fact, 24/7 time inside this narrow street, narrow house where they are living. So blot their maps with the slum as big as doom. Doom stands for the destruction. So the what the poet says, that take out this beautiful map of the world from the classroom, because the real world of these children is quite horrible. Don't give them false promise. Don't give them false temptation, because they will not be able to enjoy the real beauty of this world. So that's why blot means to remove, wipe out their map with the slum as big as doom. That means their world is not like the beautiful world shown in the map, but their world is limited to a small room in slum area. Okay, then the last stanza, the poet appeals that something should be done about these children. Unless a governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their windows, and these windows that shut upon their lives like a catacomb. See here, catacomb word we had discussed earlier. Catacomb stands for a grave which is deep down the earth. It is a kind of chamber in the graveyard, very deep chamber. That stands for the catacomb. Here, the children lives are also compared with the catacombs. Unless a governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. So indirectly, the poet Stephen Spender appeals that something should be done about the lives of these children. Some governor or inspector or a visitor should do something, take some steps, so that these children's lives can become better. Otherwise, this map will just become like their window, and this window will shut upon them like a graveyard. So, it is not only to talk about the beautiful world, but create a situation where these children will be able to expose the world. They will be able to travel the world. So we have to create such a situation, such an opportunity for these children. So we have governor, we have school inspector. If school inspector comes and analyzes the situation of these poor children, then he might take a certain step, and as a result, these children's lives can be bettered. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and sow the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands. Indirectly, the poet says that these children should be given proper break, opportunity. They should be given exposure where they can travel the world. They can go outside, feel the green fields and feel the blue sky, beautiful sky, and they should be taken somewhere by the seaside to experience the gold sand or by the riverside, and let them express the beauty or create an atmosphere so that they can express or they can reveal the beauty of this beautiful world by their own tongue. Let their tongues run naked into books, and white and grave leaves open. History theirs, whose language is the sun. Dear students, these children might be studying about the beauty of the world from the book, but in reality, they have not or never experienced that. So, what the poet appeals here, that besides the book, they should be given real life experience. If they will go and travel, or somebody will finance for them, somebody will become sponsor for them, then they can understand the real beauty of the world. So create a situation where they themselves will be able to go and experience the real beauty of life. A white and green leaf stands for the pages of the book. So I hope whatever the explanation is given by me is understood by you. And the last line says that history theirs, whose language is the sun. The one who travels and walks under the sun and experience the real world, he or she will be able to make a history. So many slum children have talents, but because they are not given enough exposure, they are not given proper environment, they do not blossom. They cannot show off their talent. So if we want these children's talents to come out, make them travel, make them have real life experience. So this is a beautiful poem. I do understand your worry and misery that there are some difficult words and various other things. But despite that, the poet Stephen Spender has come out the theme which should be, taken a note of, because there are number of children, especially here in India, they have abundance of talents, but because of lack of proper sources, lack of proper opportunity, lack of finance, and various other things, they are not able to justify with their lives. Even you have studied, or you might have studied in the books or various motivational videos, that so and so person was very, very poor, but then he changed his life. So there are number of children who have extraordinary talents, but these talents should be given the opportunity. Talents without opportunity will go in vain. So this should not happen. Education is the right of each and every person. This right should not be taken away from anyone. So indirectly, the poet talks about the various rights. Means there are people, there are students about whom we have to show the concern. Again, catacomb means graves in cemetery, doom, destiny, especially terrible. Azure, earlier it came, blue sky. Let us have a little discussion on this one, and then we shall wind up this video. What does the poet want for the children of the slum? How can their lives be made to change? In last stanza, it is clearly urged by the poet that unless some governor, inspector, or a visitor pay attention, look after the lives of these children, create opportunity for them, their lives, their life is not going to be changed. So they should be given some opportunity by the well-known people like governor, inspector, or some good visitor, and given proper exposure. How can their lives be made to change? By giving them proper opportunity, making them travel the world, giving them proper exposure, their life can become better. The walls of the classrooms are decorated with pictures of Shakespeare, building with domes, world maps, and beautiful valleys. How do these contrast with the world of these children? Now, the world in which these children are living, that world is quite pathetic and dim and full of darkness. In reality, they have no hope. But the picture, portrait, world map, all this shows that the world is very beautiful. There is total contrast between these two. In real life, these children do not have the luxury of a life, but the map and portrait in the classroom wall there, that shows that the world is very beautiful. So there is total contrast between these two things. Their life can only become better if they are given equal opportunity just like the other children, but they are deprived from the opportunity, and as a result, they suffer a lot. I hope this entire poem is understood by you. It is representing the theme of class inequalities and injustice, social injustice to certain class of the people. We shall definitely meet in the next video for the new content. Till then, you revise this poem and learn it very properly. Go through the question answer also, and you will definitely do better in all the content. I feel if you pay proper attention. Hope you'll definitely do that. Till we come out with the next video, it's a goodbye from me. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, everyone.